Yeah, it's time for Legally Served. It's time to welcome in attorney Franz Borghardt. What's happening, dude?
Blessings unto you, Brian, Alondra, the listeners, the viewers.
Yes.
I'm here for you.
Absolutely.
I'm here for you.
Glad to have you here. We're gonna talk about something that's gonna be kind of sketchy in a little bit.
It's not sketchy.
It is sketchy.
It's not how to get away with murder.
It's absolutely.
It's how people get caught.
And if you can eliminate ways of getting caught, you're telling people how to get away with murder.
So I was on court TV last night.
What?
I was on court TV last night, and one of the guys that got caught, or arrested for possibly allegedly murdering his wife, had a bloody knife in the basement.
That's the name of the segment to allegedly. That way we don't just say it for the next half hour.
So leaving a bloody knife in your basement. And my knee jerk was, come on. Who leaves a bloody knife in there? You're asking. You're
talking to a guy who reported on a story and knows very well in South Louisiana, one of the most famous instances of bonehead moves to get you caught for murder. We'll get to that later on.
Yeah, so we're not telling the viewers, this is not how to get away with murder.
Right.
When I teach my law school class, I'm suddenly just giving them breadcrumb trolls. When I teach it, it's not the how to get away with murder.
Right.
It's not that. Okay. I don't do that.
Yeah. No, that's Shonda Rhimes' job.
Oh yeah.
Delicious coffee. Let's dive in then, okay? And we're gonna get to this case over in West Baton Rouge, which is moving at a snail's pace.
Is it though?
Well, I mean, when things are so cut and dry, I tell you what, you want to knock this out first, and we'll get into how to get away with murder later. Okay. Yeah. You could tell people how to get away with murder.
No. How people get caught.
The story out of Port Allen, despite a months-long investigation into missing money at the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, a department employee has not yet faced criminal charges, even though sources say she confessed to stealing the funds. Mandy Miller was paid more than $70,000 to process traffic ticket payments to the West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office. Sources say at least $150,000 of the department's money is missing, so more than double what she was paid. The FBI joined the investigation at the state legislative auditor's office. Who was also conducting the investigation. Sources said the feds were looking into whether funds from traffic citations were stolen that were issued through a federal grant. When the file comes in, I'm going to do my job, says District Attorney Tony Clayton. Clayton said his office can't do anything until that report comes in. Now, that being said, everything else is already there.
Has she been arrested?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, yes, prosecution needs to be swift, and she is entitled to a certain constitutional bundle of rights that ensure due process and speedy trial once she's charged. Here's the question. Why are we looking at this case and saying we need fast food prosecution? This isn't a murder case. This isn't a rape case.
No, I understand that, but the things that can go quickly can get moved off the agenda very quickly.
Okay, so your position is this is easy.
She already said she did it.
Yeah, this is easy.
Right.
Let's move it. Let's move it. Okay. All right.
I think I might have found one where you're not going to argue with me here.
Well, so the question becomes then, now, are they delaying because the feds are still investigating, or are the feds done investigating? And she better hope it stays state.
And they're waiting on the paperwork.
She'll do a lot better.
The quote from Tony Clayton is, when the file comes in, I'm going to do my job.
Good point. So generally it takes a certain amount of time for the police to wrap up their reports and whatnot and hand it over to the DA's office, which normally is an electronic process. It goes onto like a server. So that takes, time. Now, this seems a bit of a long time, and then he has a certain amount of time to review and make a prosecutorial decision.
He says he's not even going to convene a grand jury. The quote says,
have to.
Well, no, he says, I don't plan on convening a grand jury on this one as the evidence is strong. This is a case I can make a call on my own. If it's that simple, what's the dadgum holdup? Meanwhile, Mandy Miller's over here like, I did it. Take me away. Throw me in jail.
I don't know if she's saying that.
Let's pause. Here comes news.
Is that what Mandy sounds like? You think that's what Mandy sounds like?
No, I think that comes from Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Oh, yeah.
Throw me in jail. You can't.
What was that scary movie spoof?
Scary movie.
Yeah, but it was.
Yeah, no, that was the name of it.
That was the one where he's in prison. Cat Williams is in prison, and she brings the baby.
Whose white baby is this?
Caucus. Cockadus. Good morning, Tiffany. I'm going to Simple Joe's after this. Not eating. Getting some coffee. I have a buddy of mine named Wolf. His name is Wolf. Shout out to Wolf.
Talked to Wolf last night.
So Wolf has a sandwich button named after him on the computer at Simple Joe's, and it is a darn good sandwich. It's a breakfast sandwich.
Okay, I'm a little bit miffed that at this point I don't have a sandwich at Zealand Street.
You've been going that much?
Yeah.
It's good. Zealand Street, it's darn good.
I do.
Do you do breakfast there or lunch?
Lunch.
Okay, so their breakfast.
I can't breakfast anywhere. I'm kind of
I know.
here.
Fair enough. I normally go for breakfast there.
I mean, you could do like jet straight after we wrap.
Yeah, whoa. At 9 o'clock, your show's over. Do you immediately go? I mean, do you pound a 5-hour energy drink at that point, or you crash? One of the two. Like, when's your next on-air obligation?
On air?
Yeah.
On air is a very small part of my job.
Right. Okay. So you could
The next
theoretically
day at 6.
You
is my next
theoretically could go to breakfast at 9 o'clock, and that is.
No. I have Monday. I have our all-employee meeting. Okay. Tuesday, I have my one-on-one with my supervisor. Wednesday,
Who's your supervisor?
Chris Elliott.
Oh, Chris Elliott.
Wednesday, it's get everything done before having to go to Rotary. Yeah. And then every other Wednesday is a sales meeting.
Thursday?
I can technically get over there Thursday, but Thursday I usually have it mapped out to where I'm recording everything for the weekend that I have to put in the system on Friday. And Friday is just a cluster hump, which Friday also involves weighing in at Ghost Slam. Now, I'm moving my weigh in at Ghost Slam to today because I'm sick and tired of Friday getting here, and I'm like way too busy.
Byron writes, I feel like at least 3 of my exes are sitting by the radio with a notebook and a pencil just waiting to hear Francis. This is how you get away with it. I did not. Byron, it's not how you get away with murder. It is how people
You're
get
not going to
caught.
explain your way out of this.
So later in life, when I run for district attorney, didn't you do a sketch on Brian Haldane show about how to get away with murder?
Yeah,
No. It's how our brilliant, courageous law enforcement agents catch people who do murder. Step 1, hire Franz. Oh, boom. I love it, Keith. Somebody send Keith a hat. Somebody send Keith a Talk 107.3 hat.
We don't have those.
I know.
We get a copy of Ken Coleman's book, The Proximity Principle.
Hey, do we have any Jada Cody stuff left over? We could send that to. No, can't do that. Some of those barbecue sauces. That actually, I'm on radio. I'm on record. I enjoy the barbecue sauces.
It's very good.
I use
molasses mustard is game changing.
I use the barbecue sauces, the sauces on when I'm doing my potato fast. I use those sometimes. Got any Jay and
There's
Chuck?
sugars in that.
You got any Jay and Chuck cups?
No.
Got any mugs? We don't have any Jay and Chuck mugs.
It's all gone.
Keith could have a
All
Jay and Cup
gone.
mug. I give you plausible deniability. Well, I don't know what Franz is going to say when he gets on the radio. I don't know what he's going to say.
I know exactly what you're going to say because I know you. There we go. I'm finally. Hey, good morning, everybody on Facebook. What's happening, crew?
You are destroying a bagel over there.
What happened?
I feel like I'm in Africa on the plains watching a lion, like in a gazelle.
I didn't eat it that much.
You did.
Damn.
Ravaged it.
It actually took me like 30 minutes to finish that one bagel. I feel like I make Brian more nervous about what I'm going to say than you do.
I'm never nervous about what you have to say.
Ooh, a side hustle as an alibi is not a bad idea.
It can be tricky though,
It could be.
because
but I'm sure I could charge like.
You only get away with it. So look, the problem with that is then you become a principal to the murder. And a principal to the murder means that you can get charged with the murder. And look, Alondra, I think you would do great in jail. Like, I can see Alondra on the yard, like doing weights and working out and getting fit on. Maybe having a small cigarette, having a small cigarette business going on.
I would have the cigarette business, but I wouldn't smoke the cigarette.
Chai Taiwan.
Time to get a look at your forecast. Here is WBRZ meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo. It's Orlando.
It's Chai Tai Lao.
Chai Tai Lao.
That was part of the show last. This week we're doing a special Go Rouge Friday morning with Brian. Because they got to go to the retreat on Friday night. And it's not going to be live. It's going to be recorded. And, it's going to be live on YouTube. Yeah. We're going to have the fellows from Corks.
I thought that was last week.
No. I had the chicks from some Chai Tai Lao.
So Corks is supposed to come on with me in a couple weeks. If they're going to be here at 9 o'clock for you, why don't they just come in half hour early, knock out both shows at once?
Stop. Back off. Get your own guess.
It's coming through sales. Don't hit me up. Hit Hunt Palmer up. 637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, dipping down by 1 degree to 67 in downtown Baton Rouge as you're hearing Taylor Swift flexing all of her SAT words in this. Why does she do that in this song? It's a good song. The hook is great.
So I hope
she tries
to flex all of her SAT words.
Permission to make this about me for a second?
No.
I see no way of stopping you.
So God bless my fiance. You know, I'm engaged now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Natalie. Since you shout out, I got to shout out. I'm engaged now.
It's off air.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Like, my fiance has some Taylor Swift tendencies. She's smart like Taylor Swift, but she has some Taylor Swift tendencies.
Okay.
And I have a thing for Taylor Swift. So, like, what does that say about me? Is this a crazy hot scale kind of thing? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just wanted to put that in there.
You started down a path you had no intent of finishing.
I had no intent.
I know. All right.
So how do people get caught?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about now?
What are a few of the dumbest ways that people that maybe you didn't prosecute, but you've seen?
So first of all, this is across the board. Maybe don't make a confession. We're going to start with number one.
Well,
don't confess to the crime. Perhaps give your lawyer something to work with.
That would be a good way to start.
So if you go in and you make statements to the police, if you confess to the crime, your chances of an acquittal are exponentially less. Like if you're like, hey, I murdered Alondra. I did it, and I would do it again. Not that I would ever murder Alondra. That generally is like a big piece of direct evidence. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yes.
Now, people often ask me, well, but if you don't make any statements to the police, doesn't that make you look guilty? Your silence cannot be used against you in a court or a trial.
That's part of the Miranda is, anything you say will be used against you, not anything you don't say.
We have people that look guilty all day long who are never prosecuted. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they don't go in and confess.
Yeah.
So number one,
all right,
confessions. Mm-hmm. Number two, maybe your search engine history keeps a hard record of all the things you search. So if you're like searching how to kill people with antifreeze, or searching how to get rid of a 250-pound body.
Okay, but as a criminal defense attorney, can't you argue that away? I mean, it's just random curiosity, Your Honor.
It's circumstantial evidence.
It is.
It's cumulative, right? It aggregates. And enough. So the common thing is, Alondra, if she was accused of murder, would say, well, this is just a circumstantial evidence case. You don't got no direct evidence against me.
In this one segment, she is both the murderer and the victim.
I know. So here it is. The problem is it's cumulative, right? So if there's 5 pieces of circumstantial evidence that all point to her being the murderer, mm-hmm. then it's hard to explain it away. But it awfully is hard. It's awfully hard to explain away how to get rid of a human being with antifreeze when the victim is killed with antifreeze. That maybe, I'm not saying go to a public library and do your murder searching. I'm just saying.
What if you did, though?
Well, you got to prove that you got to prove that Brian Haldane actually was the one searching for things. Mm-hmm. And think about that. I don't know if they wipe search histories at libraries, but it's a lot different than your personal computer or your phone. And don't think that by searching on your phone, this is really getting off rails. Don't think that by searching on your phone that makes it any less of an internet history. It's the same internet browser.
Can I borrow your phone for a minute?
Please don't. No.
Okay.
In fact, Brian, if something ever happens to me, I need you to get rid of my phones.
That's no problem. I'm more than happy to do that. We've seen a number of different killers get caught by the weirdest things. Remember the BTK killer?
How did he get caught?
Well, he began sending police. This is from a website that's actually lists the 15 funniest ways that serial killers were caught. Began sending police little care packages. Eventually realized that the care packages were an inefficient means of communication. So he asked the police if he sent them a floppy disk, could it be traced back to him? And lo and behold, it was
got caught with floppy disk.
Yeah.
So I got asked the question by a group of guys at Simple Joe's the other day, how is it that individuals normally get caught?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's not the eyewitness that sees Alondra doing the murder.
You're back to being the killer now.
It is the video of Alondra at Walmart buying copious amounts of Clorox, buying a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
It is the external pieces of evidence. I mean, and we have videos everywhere now. So first and
So what
foremost,
would you recommend there? Should you buy your Clorox in advance?
well, you got to play the long game.
Yeah.
You got to play the long game because
You always have a couple gallons
So
on
if you
hand?
buy Clorox, well, no, so look, we are in a Costco, again, putting my defense attorney hat on, is if I bought industrial amounts of a whole bunch of different groceries from Costco,
Okay.
nobody would think anything of it, right?
Right.
Because it's high volume purchasing, right?
Yeah.
But if I go, and when I say groceries, I buy pounds of strawberries. I buy a whole bunch of mixed nuts. I buy a couple of bottles of Clorox. I buy I buy all these different things that are household goods. Nobody thinks anything about the detergent, right?
Right.
However, if I go to Costco and buy 100 garbage bags, a shovel, and an industrial amount of Clorox, that looks more suspicious, right?
Yeah.
And if I use a credit card, they can trace the credit card purchase to Costco.
I mean, Costco's a membership place, so it's going to be attached to your name anyway.
Right. If I use the Costco in the town that I live in, it makes more sense, right?
Yes.
I'm just saying if you use cash at a place that doesn't trace, I'm not saying that's what you do to murder somebody. I'm just saying.
And maybe spread it out among a number of different places.
And over a period of time.
Right.
Like murder is a business. Murder is a business you can't just haphazardly enter into.
You need a plan.
You need a plan.
So what you're saying is,
if you will.
What you're saying is,
This may be the Emmy episode. This right here is the Emmy episode.
Is it?
I'm hoping so.
All right. What you're saying is, though, like, number one, if you go the further away, if I heard you right, the further away from home you go to purchase your supplies, the more suspicious you look.
No. You need to, if you purchase your supplies, preferably at a place that doesn't have video cameras, preferably in a place you're spending in cash, preferably in a place that you're unrecognizable. I'm not saying wear a costume or a disguise. You don't want to use a third party to purchase all this stuff because that's also, by the way, snitchings and accomplices that roll on you. That's another way people get caught with murder. You want to go to a place that's far away that is like a local hardware store that is less likely to have those cameras around the place, and you need to do it in a non-proximity to the murder case.
Right.
So if you're going to burn the bodies and you buy a gallon of petro or gas or whatever we use to burn bodies, okay? And again, we don't want to have a search industry. We don't have to have a search history of how to get rid of bodies. How to burn bodies. We don't want to have that.
Right.
You may want to clear that out.
No.
May not. Oh, by the way, number 3 or number 4, using your cell phone or having your cell phone near the proximity of the murder. We have seen that law enforcement are using triangulation now.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side is, and we learned this from the Idaho murder suspect, he's allegedly the killer of multiple human beings, mass murder. If you turn it off when you enter into the zone in which you're murdering, that's just as suspicious looking as if you don't have the cell phone period.
So just leave your cell phone at home.
Or going back to Alondra's idea, give the cell phone to somebody else that can be in another area of town. But then that, again, that's the loose lips sink ships angle, right? Because then Alondra can roll on you and cooperate and get that Crime Stoppers money.
All right. We're going to pause here. When we come back, he's attorney Franz Borghardt. This is Legally Served. We do it every Wednesday as part of Mornings with Brian Haldane. A few of the dumber ways that folks have gotten caught. We'll continue next.
Could I write a book? The ways people get caught with murder? Is that like an O.J. Simpson kind of thing? Am I the only one uncomfortable with this entire conversation? A little bit? I didn't do it, but if I did.
This is how I would do it.
Byron says he's strapping his cell phone to a Roomba.
Smart move.
I love Taylor Swift.
Should sponsor.
You know they sell table advertisements there? Where you can have your advertisement on the table?
What does that cost?
Not terribly bad. Shout out to Tim.
I freaking love Simple Joe's. They literally have the best breakfast in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the woman that,
I forget that she's breakfast.
because we're always here for breakfast.
Yeah. And to be fair, I've only had that burrito.
You should be over there a lot more because she's literally around the corner from you.
Should be.
Where do you live, Alondra? Tell everybody where you live.
So
Garden
here's
Alondra lives in the Garden District.
my address. It is. Just kidding.
No, Garden District.
Yeah.
Same way,
But
I live in Sherwood, and we will get no more specific than that.
yeah, but
I did want to tell you.
my thing with that is she closes at 2.
How long do you need to eat lunch?
Well, I go to the gym after I leave here.
So you've been losing power lately, I hear. There's been some power issues, electricity issues. I'm going to set up a Haldane wing of my house to where whenever you lose power, because you're like right around the corner from me, whenever you lose power, you, Christy, the kids can just come over into the Haldane wing.
Okay.
There'll be things. There'll be like a
You've been
fridge
losing
stop.
power a lot?
We lost power the other day, day before yesterday.
Why?
Was it on Martin Luther King?
I got invited to a play day. Fisher and I got invited to a play field day.
I was wondering how you knew about that. I forgot that they called when.
I'm actually friends with your wife,
Yes.
who keeps track of my spiritual well-being.
Christy is an angel.
She really is a good human being.
Glad to hear it, David. Good stuff.
You done well. You done well, son.
Oh, no, I'll kick my coverage big time.
If I ever was going to get an Emmy for my participation in this show, I think it's this one.
Do you?
I don't even know how you get an Emmy. Like, how do you even get an Emmy?
Well, they don't usually give Emmys to Facebook broadcasts, but like local TV,
No.
that's a different award altogether.
It's that award. I want it.
Louisiana Association of
I want
Broadcasters.
it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Well, I'm not up for it. I'm up for election coverage for a 5th year
Of course.
or
Boom.
4th year. Actually,
It's a very Franz-like thing of you to say. I like it. It's like I'm rubbing off on you. You know, when I win the award every year for election coverage, that's how I would say it.
bro. Okay, you want to hear about a strong ass brag? I can't do this with anybody else hearing this. Has to have Mike's killed for this one.
Yeah. I'm the one saying this. You're good. You're good. I'm not. To his credit. To his
somebody
credit.
could easily say, Brian, when was the election last year? Not 2022. That's what I'm up for now. Is 2022. What was the election in 2021? It was on a Saturday in the fall. Oh yeah. What do you do on Saturdays in the fall? LSU football. Like the
That is
LSU
so
Florida.
funny.
I was producing the LSU Florida game. How's that for a flex?
Flex.
Hey, are they going to tear down the AC Lewis YMCA to put this new building up, or is it going up next door?
New building.
So yesterday, I was talking about it's a retrial of a dude that killed his wife.
Okay, so like completely nothing to do with what I just.
No. I got to share this with you. And in the trial, the prosecution's presenting a whole bunch of evidence about the guy's fascination with penises. Like he was having an affair. He talks about his penis a lot.
Why not?
Okay. And so the anchor or the host asked me about whether or not that was really relevant or not. And I said, well, it's not hard evidence.
I was wondering what that comment was about.
I said, no pun intended. It derailed everything.
David Gordon says you should get a Golden Globe Award.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I feel like those are a little meaningless.
wow.
Wow.
Like,
I'll take the Golden Globe. The
well,
Hollywood
Golden
Foreign
Globes
Press.
just happened.
I know the Hollywood
And nobody
Foreign Press.
cared
I'll take
about
it.
them.
Yeah, nobody cares about him because the Golden Globes
No
were
one's slapping
all
people
about
with the Golden Globes.
what's his name?
Tom Cruise?
No.
Weinstein.
No. No. Why am I?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Stand-up comedian, British. The British.
Oh, wow. What's his name? Yeah.
Ricky Gervais.
That's he's the best host.
I mean,
Like his hosting and his
made the awards
I don't know.
meaningful.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning's pretty good.
Yes, be sure.
Didn't he in fact say how these awards are meaningless?
Right. Yeah. You've been to school less than Greta Thunberg.
They keep letting him host.
Did y'all see that
He's awesome.
fake ass press that she had? She got arrested allegedly, and then there's a video, and she was like laughing with the cops, like, "Ha ha ha! Arrest me, take a pic."
Is again, you got to get the burner phone. It's the act of getting the thing that's used in the murder that sometimes leads
Don't
to.
have a phone with you. That's
How do
not
you-
difficult.
Maybe don't murder people.
Right. Well, so if you lose,
Unless Alondra has to die. I mean, if Alondra has to die,
Or
take
has
her
to kill.
We'll have to take her to the
Because she's
train.
both,
We'll
remember?
take her to the train station.
Oh man.
Yellowstone. You watch Yellowstone.
I mean, it is what it is. At some point, I'm gonna have to go.
but you're also the killer in this, right?
Maybe someone's killing me because I killed somebody.
Sure. 652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Attorney Franz Borghardt in studio for Legally Served. This week we're stepping away from the normal breaking down of headlines to talk about a few of the dumber things that people have done to get themselves caught along the way. Franz, there's a story. I guess it's got to be 17 years old now, the story, because it dates us back to 2005. Actually, 2006 was when it transpired. A New Orleans broadcaster killed his wife. He was convicted of killing his wife.
By the way, for the record, once you kill and get convicted,
Yeah.
we don't do allegedly anymore.
He's also dead now, so he ain't coming after me. Anyway, a New Orleans broadcaster killed his wife. He was convicted of murder. And basically the piece of evidence that put it over the top was his checklist for everything he was going to do.
Keep checklist.
He was stepping between raindrops on so many different pieces of evidence, like the bicycle that was that was seen in the area of the crime scene. He still had it. He went to a gun shop with an old rusty gun and said, "I need to see if I could use this to take care of a problem."
Yeah, that.
And then in the end of it, when police raided his FEMA trailer, sitting right there on the desk was the checklist for all the things he had to do in order to get away with murdering his ex-wife. I'm thinking if you've got a 15-item checklist for getting away with murder, item 16 should probably be burn checklist.
So
Vince Marinello was the name of the broadcast, by the way.
We recently covered a story at police chief in Plaquemine, maybe, where he had the sticky note where he wrote down.
Let's say post it because sticky is
okay.
different.
Post a note. That was an instance of me not trying to be.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So he at least got rid of the note, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing.
Hold on. Stop. Backstory for those that don't know. He was accused of
not murder,
trying to trade sexual favors for leniency. Here's the way it played out allegedly. Girl sitting there in the police in the department in the station, and boyfriend is locked up for, I believe, DWI. And the way the story went, so allegedly, the chief hands over a Post-it note that says, "Well, if you perform this act for me, we'll let him out. How much do you actually love him?"
So don't keep a checklist.
Right.
And here's another big one. Don't tell a whole bunch of your friends and family members how much you wish that your loved one or the victim was dead or would die, or how you fantasized about murdering them.
Okay, so that's the hard part, though, isn't it? Because you're going to say those things long before you plan on killing somebody.
It's a gradual progression, right? If you start going around telling people, hey, I really want to kill my wife, or I wish my wife died.
Right.
That's a problem, right? So here's the other thing I was been thinking about. So this idea of the perfect murder that generally is where people don't get caught is the accidental murder where there's just not enough evidence, right? There's an accident, or it could be an accident, right? But we live in a culture now that we don't believe accidents. Like, there are no coincidences. Like the staircase murder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where did she fall down the staircase or was she pushed?
Well, it depends on if you watch the HBO version or the Netflix version.
Antifreeze. Well, that case is being tried right now on retrial. Did she die of antifreeze poisoning or was she murdered with antifreeze poisoning? Did the brakes fail or were they cut? You know, so if you're going to make it look like an accident, it has to really be like almost an accident. I'm not saying kill anybody. For the record, Franz Borchardt is not saying murder Alondra.
One would hope we wouldn't have to say that.
Yeah. But these are the ways that people get caught.
So,
and part of it is they're not.
You talk about talking bad about people. Would there be something to hyping them up for a month leading up to it?
Well, then that could be equally suspicious, right?
Really?
Like if I was overly kind to Alondra for the next month, 2 months, people are like, methinks he protests too much. You know, it doesn't. It's weird. And look, you're not Dexter.
Come on, no. If you're a criminal defense attorney, you're not stepping in immediately and saying, "Come on."
He loved her. He loved her.
You're really going to prosecute this person?
He talked about how much he cares about her. No, but I'm telling you that's problematic, right? Mm-hmm. And look, Dexter, even Dexter in the Showtime show, even Dexter got caught. How did Dexter get caught? You might watch Dexter.
No, I don't.
Serial killer, though. Serial killer.
The only thing I remember of Dexter was the one, the meme with that includes one sentence and words you can't say on air. So I don't know.
The thing is this. The more people you, and by the way, the Hollywood fantasy that the sly, like intelligent serial killer that kills multiple people, like the Kevin Costner in that movie where he was a serial killer. I can't think of Mr. something or other. The reality is the more people you kill, the heightened level of probability that you're going to get caught.
Right. And that's just the law of averages, though. That's just the raw numbers of it, is it not?
And incidentally, just so I can say this on the record, if your spouse gets murdered, generally the other spouse, the other spouse, are the suspect.
You're the first one they're going to look at.
You're the first one. You're the first one.
But, yeah, it's law of averages.
Thou shalt not kill.
No,
thou shalt not kill.
Nobody is so perfect that they're going to do everything perfectly every single time.
So that is the real reason people get caught is the mistakes, right?
Well, no, I was going to say ego. Like at a certain point, though, like if you're doing this multiple times, then isn't it? And we're walking on a serial killer path since you brought up Dexter. But when you're repeating patterns, not everything gets done like the exact same way every single time.
So my issue is this. Yeah, that is absolutely accurate. My issue is this, and I've thought about this a lot when I'm doing court TV commentary, is why don't you just divorce your spouse? Why you got to kill them? Like all these spouse murders where like they kill their wife or they kill their husband. I'm like, wouldn't a divorce have been a lot cheaper? Like, divorce doesn't come with a life sentence. In fact, some would argue that divorce, while I embrace and endure the sanctity of marriage, a divorce is liberating to some degree. So maybe get a divorce.
All right, he's attorney Franz Borchardt. That's where we're going to cut him off before he gets himself in any real trouble. As if the last half hour wasn't enough. We do Legally Served every Wednesday at this time, and we just don't know why. He'll be back in next week. Appreciate you, brother. We got to get